灯，红灯。上船喽！来看新港。好吗？哦。
Welcome on this classic Canal Tour of Copenhagen. Just going to start out with a language check, just to see if I picked up any Danish-speaking people on this boat that actually gains benefit from me speaking Danish. Har jeg fået nogle dansk tale ombord, og en fordel ved at snakke dansk? I er jo helt okay med, at der er på engelsk også. I unge mennesker. Tak. So, no, we will do this tour only in English. That means that you not have to listen to my Danish gibberish half the time. That's a good thing. Up here with me here, I have Captain Mark here, sailing our safely through the harbor today here. Definitely one of my favorite captains. My name is Kim. I will be your guide on this tour. Safety, very, very important, so listen carefully. We will be sailing on a number of low bridges. Very important you remain seated under these low bridges. Also strongly recommend that you do not touch the bridges. They can be surprisingly dirty. There's also a safety concern involved. Our service announcement is the non-smoking service, but hey, everything is nowadays. Well, the number of...
下桥了，我们会不会撞到？哈哈哈！
So we are now sailing out through the new harbor canal. How long time can we call something new here in Copenhagen? Well, it's now for 350 years, because that's how old it is by now. And you're going to activate it back then to connect the King's Square at that time, the center of Copenhagen, with the harbor. And you have to imagine this area here, filled with drunken sailors and ladies of the night, bar brawls, muggings, killings, everything that you can imagine from a working harbor. It has taken place here over the years. I guarantee it. Nowadays, well, very much cleaned up the place. Nowadays, a very popular tourist area here in Copenhagen, also known as the canal with the colored houses. The first thing we see as we leave the canal is here on the left here. We see the Playhouse here, part of the Royal Theatre, opened in 2008. And then in 2008, when we had all the plays in the entire world to choose from, why did we choose? We chose Shakespeare's Hamlet. Why? Well, Shakespeare being famous, and Hamlet takes place here in Denmark. It takes place up in Helsingør, but the castle Kronborg. Hamlet is a Danish prince, however fictional. There's a line from Hamlet that everyone knows. To be or not to be. I get to say it 7 times a day. There's another line from Hamlet that is lesser known, and that is, there's something rotten in the state of Denmark. Oh, thank you, Shakespeare. Really? Well, you have allowed me only to speak English on this tour. That means that I have more time. I have time to give you the explanation. It's being said in Act 3 of the play, and Shakespeare is referring to the mental health state of Prince Hamlet, a fictional character in the play anyway. He's not picking a fight with Denmark, it just sounds like it. Shakespeare actually never bothered to come to Denmark, he just wrote a play about us. Up ahead of us, very soon on our left here, we have another part of the Royal Theatre. We have the opera coming up. Built in 2005. It was a gift from the AP Møller Shipping Foundation. It was a gift from the owner, Mads McKinney Møller. He and the architect Henning Larsen, they were not in agreement on how it should look like. Henning Larsen, he wanted a more open-ended glass run towards the harbor here. Henning Larsen, he wanted additional 2 stories added to the building where you see the glass section to make the roof appear to be more free-floating. Mads McKinney Møller, the owner of the Mads Shipping Company, he disagreed. And according to legend, he ended the discussion with, yeah, but who's paying? In all honesty, we do not know whether these words were exactly spoken like that. We do know that they got into a fight. We do know that Henning Larsen got upset about it, wanted to refuse to come to the grand opening of the opera. And we do know that this building here, this opera, this gift to Denmark, ended up costing Mads McKinney Møller 2.5 billion Danish crowns.
这真是自为票价。
Quite a gift.
这种最爽快的最适合
On this tour here, where we know that for example, Canal is off limits when we take something out, we put something in. So on this tour here, we will take you behind the monument. Looking forward to showing you this hidden gem in Copenhagen. But to go there, we have to go through a small residential area where we promise will be quiet. So right after this next low bridge, I will put down the mic for a few minutes.
Gut.
Low bridge, please be seated. Please be seated. Thank you.
بطاط محله هيدا عالي
Be seated. Sit down. Thank you.
这个房子好可爱哦，
哪一个？坐那个房子。
它顶的，
可爱的。
Cycled into luxury apartments. On our right here, we are cruising up alongside the Freetown of Christiania. It was a military encampment, but the military wasn't really using it for anything. So back in 1971, a group of hippies, they came here and they took over this place. And what can I say about the complex legal status of the Freetown of Christiania? You can buy all sorts of stuff in here. Here on the left here now, here, we have this long row of sheds here. They call the gunboat sheds. To start this story here, I have to start by saying something crazy. Denmark a military superpower. Where we were back in 1807, we had the 4th biggest fleet in the world, but we lost it in the war with the British. So we had to rebuild our fleet. We couldn't build a similar fleet. We didn't have the resources to do so, the time, the money. We didn't even have the wood. So what we did in the meantime was we built gunboats, basically rowing boats with a few cannons in front and back. And they were kept installed here at the gunboat sheds. At least we had a coastal defense of Copenhagen. The king had to think about this problem here. At the time, the mountain is 147 meters high. We even call that mountain the Sky Mountain. So what can we do with a building like this? Well, we have used it to build a ski slope. Opening up here now on the right here, we have a military part of the harbor here called Holmen. Not really being used all that much by active military ships anymore. But we have 3 museum ships in here dating back from the Cold War era that you can go on this The first one with a good story, that is the submarine that you see now on land. Her name is the Seal. It was one of the last operational submarines that we had for the Danish Navy, and it was operational back in 2003 during the Second Gulf War. So when the Allies asked Denmark, can you send us something down here to Iraq, something down here to the desert, something that we can use in the desert war? What did Denmark? Well, back then, military warships, they were huge wooden warships with tall masts. As a final part of the assembly, they got towed here in front of this very crane to get the masts hoisted upon them. And this crane here, the crane itself, an old wooden structure, only broken wood has been used for the crane itself, strong enough to lift the mast as high as 40 meters, weighing 20 tons.
我刚刚原本想要去
Quite
的
an。accomplishment for his time.
哇，好冷。
对啊，好冷，要不去了。
Coming into view now here in front of us here, we have Battery 6 that's here, an active part of the defense of Copenhagen Harbor. And the cannons that you can see there on top of the
这个就是
ramparts,
可以坐去那个的，
they do work. I know.
坐去那个
Because I
那个
live
奥斯
nearby
陆，
and they've been fired twice a day. They've been fired in the morning at sunrise
应该
and
也
in
不止
the
奥斯陆
evening
了
at。sunset.
是
他们
一家什么？
这个如果没有把头来拉起来，都会看不惯。
对啊， 好多船哦。
Here from the land, but even more so that you come out here and visit this green area that you now see behind. It's called Castella in Danish, the Citadel in English. It's one of the world's oldest security in Copenhagen here. Lots and lots of jealousy to it. On 10 liters of beer every day. Well, could be it. Normally we would have headed into Frederiksholm's Canal at this point here and maybe even talked to other people. At least 2 people in the middle of the bridge had stopped up. Whether they were thinking about life, I can't guarantee it, but at least they were talking to each other. As you can see, there much work being done there and different color schemes on the building. That's because we're also renovating the National Bank at the moment. So far, so good. Hasn't burned down yet. On our left here, low bridge, please be seated. Low bridge, please be seated.